Welcome back, friends, to the channel. So as you guys know, Mrs. W and I just got back from the Urban Rifle down at Thunder Ranch with Clint and Heidi Smith. And a lot of you have asked if I could share a couple things or some things that I've learned. I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than someone who just went to a training course and then wants to come back and educate you on all of the amazing things that he or she learned. And I'm not that guy. What I learned from the class are two things. Keep it simple, and I don't know very much. That was about it. But there's been a ton of requests about people asking and sharing some things from kind of what I learned about loadout, what's my personal, how I set things up. For what it's worth, I'll share that with you. But I want to show you a couple drills that I set up here that I'm going to be working with Mrs. W and Jack. We're going to try to pick one day a week or an evening and get together and come out and start working these drills and just to get better with these rifles, to be 100% familiar with them. I don't have any illusions about being some sort of Navy SEAL type of guy or the best shot in the world. I don't care about that. I want to be rock solid on the rifle. I want to be able to own all the areas in my home, and I want to be very, very familiar with my equipment, and I want to be very simple so that I can pick it up in the middle of the night and go. So let me show you the drills. We'll go through them 3 times, and again, I'm not fast yet, but hopefully I'll get better at it. And the drill is kind of designed here to use a whole lot of ammo so that it doesn't cost you too much, but it maximizes every shot you're doing something, so there's a lot of magazine changes, and I'll adapt it too. This is just kind of where we're starting, what we'll do for the first week. So let's run through the drill 3 times, and then I'll kind of show you how I'm setting up my gear. The drill we'll be doing today is a 4-shot drill, and it's going to be, I've got this set up so I can shoot inside the shop out at about 40 feet or so. We'll move that range on as need be. That way I can pick up all the brass and everything on the concrete rather than being in the grass digging for it. So this is just a little cardboard stand deal I made up. It's about 18 inches by 30 inches with a roughly 8-inch head. And the drill is going to be doing 3 magazine changes. So I'm loading 1 round in the chamber, and then I have 3 magazines on my chest carrier. This has 1 round in it, this has 1 round in it, and this one is full. And so what I'll do is I'll shoot the first 2 shots will be here in the center of mass. So it's a matter of coming up, warning, freeze, don't move. If someone's in your house, if they're not complying or they're acting in a threatening manner, it's 2 shots rapidly to the center of mass right here. And then in between those, of course, are the reloads. And then after the first reload, there'll be 1 to the head. Reason for this is that if someone happens to be wearing body armor and you put a couple shots and it's not stopping them, then you need to change tactics, either be shooting in the pockets or up here at the head. So that's what I'm working on. And then the 4th shot after the 2nd magazine load will be down here to one of these steel plates. And that is training a person to realize that just because you have shot someone that's been threatening you and they fall on the ground, it doesn't mean that they're out of the fight. So you got to be careful and make sure you follow that down, and that follow shot, that 4th shot, will be to one of the steel targets down here, simulating that, and just trying to be aware and train yourself to be aware of those things and not to get that tunnel vision. So let's work through the drill. We'll do it 3 times, and then we'll talk a little bit about gear setup. Freeze, don't move. I think I messed up that sequence on the last magazine change, but here we can see the first 2 shots. So it's bam, bam, here to the body, and then the gun goes empty, and we have a reload, and then after the reload, we'll put 1 to the head here, and then another reload, and then the steel target. So if I get the sequence right this time. As we come up, safety sweeps off. Bam, bam, reload to the head, bam, reload, follow it down, and the steel plate. I'll try to get it right this time. Freeze, don't move. Right there. To the head, follow it down. And safety on. This was my worst shot to the head all day. I need to stop worrying about speed and just be worried about accuracy. Two good shots on the body there, and then of course we hit the steel just fine. Third time's the charm here. Freeze, don't move. Clear. Freeze, don't move. Stay down. Clear. All right, not bad, not great. Gonna get better. Let's do one more. Freeze, don't move. Stay down. Clear. So that last one is okay, but a lot of room for improvement there. But that's why we're doing it. There and there. So that's the drill I worked on today. As we get better, we'll make sure that we start working some movement, different things into that, and just mixing it up, and just to get so comfortable with it that when you pick it up or you get a malfunction or you're dealing with different situations, that you just know you know everything that's going to go on. There's just no surprises. You know, when it comes to the tactical gear and stuff, you know, it's kind of interesting. So Clint's kind of the opinion you should learn to fight in real life. If you're going to take a handgun class, don't pull out some big thing that you never carry. You fight with the gun that you're going to carry with. Same thing goes for this stuff. Are you going to be wearing body armor? Are you going to be wearing a full chest rig like this? When the first day of the class, Mrs. W, she really took that to the extreme, and she showed up and she shot the first whole day in a dress, which posed some serious problems because there was no place to carry extra magazines. So she rapidly found out, next day, of course, she went to a kind of a light duty chest rig where she could carry magazines in there because it just wasn't possible. It wasn't practical. So same for me. I didn't have any tactical gear or anything. I just carried my magazines in my pocket. And I did the whole course like that. I got to thinking about that and talking to Clint, and actually how I would fight if someone's in my house and we're sleeping upstairs. What I have by my bed is I have my Colt, and I have my body armor, which is just level 3 body armor, level 3 plus. So this will stop pretty much any handgun that you're going to run across. It's not going to stop a rifle. But I have level 4 plates, but they're just too. To be honest, they're just too heavy for me. They're difficult. I'm not going to wear them. The softer stuff I will wear. Pardon me. So what I have by my bed, of course, is this is going to be exactly how it's going to be configured. I'm going to have either an aim point or a EOTech. I'm going to have this sling, Colt, with a flashlight. Interesting thing about flashlights, that's a really critical part. You want to be able to have a flashlight that's easy to use. There's a lot of really cool ones out there, and the Surefires and all the wires and the pressure switches and all that. And it was kind of an interesting thing what Clint said. He goes, I know a lot of guys that had the wired flashlights on their rifles when they went to Afghanistan, and when they came back they didn't, because they were kind of fragile. They got hung up on stuff and it was kind of complicated. So yeah, it's personal choice. If you want to really train for that stuff and really understand it, that's totally cool. But I kind of just set mine up the way he set his up. It's just a Surefire 300 on the front with just no messing around, no nonsense, just a light. I can turn it on, or not turn it on. It's very simple. It's easy to get to, of course, with my thumb. And then the other thing I learned from that course is man, keep it light, and keep it simple. I saw a lot of guns. There were fancy guns. There were a lot of guns with a lot of problems there. But if I were to advise you what I've learned in my personal experience, I would go buy a Colt, and I would buy a Daniel Defense, or I would buy a BCM, and I wouldn't monkey with it. Just leave it alone. Don't be putting stuff on it. I mean, just leave it alone. Mrs. W ran the Daniel Defense flawless. I ran the Colt. It's always been flawless. It doesn't matter what the ammunition is. I'm getting to the point now where I have 5,000 rounds through this, where the Colt and I are building a very loving and trusting relationship because of that reliability. I very, very much like it. I would be very, very, very reluctant to be messing around with it and be changing anything. I'm just leave it alone. Yeah, that's just my take on it. It's just simple and lightweight, man. When you were there, just all day long, standing at the ready and coming up and up, coming up, that's hard to have a heavy rifle with a heavy barrel. If I had my choice, I'd rather have a lighter one. I don't care about MOA. I don't care about any of that nonsense. I just want to understand it. I want to be rock solid with it, and I want it to be reliable. It is accurate enough, right? This is a fighting rifle. This is going to be a defensive rifle. I'm not a competitor, never will be. I just want to be able to protect my home and my family. So when that comes to the chest rig, I am going to train, and I'm going to wear this because this is what I'm going to put on. I'm going to have this by my nightstand. I'm going to have 2 magazines in here, loaded to 25. I also learned don't load those magazines to 30 because you can't get them in. You can't get them in and get them seated. And I saw it over and over again. Clint warned us about it, and I finally just got to the point where I was just putting 25 in. They go in easily, and that's enough. I'm going to have some sort of an IFAK and probably cat tourniquet in here. Maybe even leave it open. You could poke a Glock in there if you wanted to. Put the strapper at it, but just simple. Level 4 body armor, as I said, soft with a tourniquet and maybe some combat gauze for plugging holes or something like that, and 2 magazines plus whatever's in the rifle. So, yeah, that's it. Thought you might find it interesting. For what it's worth, take it for what it's worth. There's a lot of guys on there that know a whole lot more about it than me. As I said, what I took from the class is keep it simple and how much I didn't know. These videos always bring out the Europeans, and and here's what I say to you guys. Oh, who do you think you are, running around playing soldier, all that. You know what? You don't have any idea what you're talking about. You always tell us, oh, I wouldn't have that, and I don't need that, and we don't need that. You know what it's like, you guys saying that? It's like the man who can no longer, has lost the ability to stand up, saying, I refuse to stand. Well, you refuse to stand because you can't get up. So what does it mean? You don't have the opportunity to have these things. It's not even an option for you. That's what makes America so great. This rifle right here, and the millions that are just like it, for all my fellow Americans, are what will keep this country free. And I'm not saying this to say that I'm going to start some revolution or anything. I don't ever want to shoot anyone. If I never had to pull it up in anger, that would be my choice. However, this is what guarantees my freedom. And guys will say, oh yeah, good luck when they send an Apache helicopter. Well, there's not that many police officers in this country compared to people that are legal gun owners. There's not that many military Green Berets or Special Forces or whatever. Yeah, of course those guys could do whatever they want to if they draw a bead on you. What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything. But as Americans as a whole, this right here is what guarantees our freedom. It's not about hunting. It's not about recreation. It's about freedom. And this right here, the reason why it's called America's rifle is because this is our symbol. This is a symbol of freedom. And then you'll have the other side that'll say, well, a Christian should never carry a gun. A Christian should never kill anyone. Well, you don't know your Bible and you don't know what you're talking about. Christianity, unfortunately, has become, it has been, the way it's being taught now is a milquetoast religion, but real Christianity is a fighting man's religion. And I'll tell you what, I'll close with this. For those of you who say that it's wrong for Christians to have a gun, it's wrong for me to defend myself and my family, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's look at the disciples. What happened on the Mount of Olives when they came for Jesus to take him? Peter stood up and cut off Malchus's ear with a sword. We know that at least 2 of the disciples were armed with swords, and they were in the very company of Jesus. So what is the modern day sword? If it would have been modern day, is this not the modern day sword? Absolutely it is. So you say I don't have any faith and I should put all my trust in God and I should take no responsibility whatsoever. You don't know what you're talking about, because the very disciples that walked with our Lord were armed. So take that in your pipe and smoke it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.